And now that after we have created a list of friends activity and as well as this XML layout, now we're going to create a login screen. A login screen would allow us to get into the application if we have registered our account, and if we don't have an account, then we can't able to log in into the software. So for that purpose, login screen is very important. So let's get started. So I'm just gonna actually right click on the package of com.with our Android chatter, and then I'm gonna create a class with the name of logging in, and then I'm just gonna click on finish, and that's it. Logging in is added to our package directory. Now I'm going to create actually the layout for the login screen. So I'm just going to click on the relative layout and then click on the Android new XML layout. So I'm just going to click on Android XML layout and give it a name of logging underscore in, and that's it. I'm just going to click on the finish button, and then it will be created as it is. I'm just going to get into the login.xml file, and then I'm just going to change linear layout to relative layout, and that's it. I'm just going to change this to relative layout. That's it. And then the next thing what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to get back to graphical layout, and I'm going to provide a lot of graphics to this linear layout. So I'm just going to get back to my desktop and click on the graphics folder, and in here I have the different graphics, which is actually preliminary graphics for my application. So I'm just gonna select all of these graphics, and then I'm just gonna drag it to my Android IDE. So I'm just gonna drag it in here like here, and then I'm just gonna drop it in a drawable HDPI folder, and I'm just gonna click on OK, yes to all, and that's it. And remember, I've told you that I'm not going to change the launcher icon in that area, but now I have changed the launcher icon in the drawable HDPI folder by placing the launcher icon of mine in here. So I'm just going to click cancel, and that's it. Now we have actually all the necessary graphics for our application. Now I'm just going to click on it, and remember, one thing is very important, that you should change the layout to Android Jelly, or because we are actually using the emulator Android Jelly, so we should actually also apply the same effects of Android Jelly into here. So I'm just going to click on and select Android Jelly from the option menu, get into the background, and now select the background and click on the drawable option and click on the background and just OK it, and that's it. Now the background has been added, and that's with the username and password already in the graphics. Now the next thing what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to add on some edit boxes and as well as a button. So I'm just going to add one edit box in here that will be actually a text view. So I'm just going to change it to the change widget type, and that's it. Now I'm just going to click on OK, and it will be converted to the edit text, and I'm just going to drag on another text view, and then I'm just going to change to edit text 2. So I'm just going to click on OK, and that's it. Now both are converted to edit text. The next thing I'm going to have to do is to drag on a button in here. So I'm just going to drag on a button in here, and that's it. Now we have two edit texts, one for username, one for password, and one for logging in. So I'm just going to change the graphics of the button by clicking on it, and then I'm just going to minimize all these sections, and here in the background under the view section, I'm going to click on the background and get into the drawable, and in here I'm gonna just select the login button and click on OK, and that's it. You can see it by here that login has been changed. Now I'm just gonna click on the edit text and create an empty string so that button text will be disappeared. I'm just gonna click on OK, and that's it. So string empty and login is now appeared. I'm gonna save everything now, and then I'm gonna change the text view, and I'm just going to change the text view to the image graphics. So I'm going to click on the background, click on the drawable, and in here I can select like different options for 9. So this is actually appearing as a text box graphics. I'm going to click on OK, and now it will be changed to a text box graphics in here, as you can see that. So I'm just going to change this one too to the text box graphics by drawable, and there I'm just going to click on 9 and click on OK, and that's it. Now I'm going to save everything like that, and now we have a login button in here. I'm just gonna make it former, and that's it. Okay, now the next thing what I'm gonna have to do is to change the IDs of the edit text and as well as the button. So I'm gonna right click on it and edit the text and give it a name of, sorry, I'm just gonna give it an ID, not the text, but I'm gonna give it an ID of username, and I'm gonna click on OK, and that's it. Now the next thing I'm gonna have to change it from this section is actually the password. So in the edit text we have already a username. Now I'm just going to change it to the password, and that's it. And now I'm going to change into the graphical layout. Click on this edit box and change the input type to the text only, because in the username only a text would be appeared. So I'm just going to click on text and save it, and in the password section I'm just going to change the input type to the text password, because text password is the one which is actually very important while you are dealing with password, and the password characters would be then invisible to the user. So I'm just going to click and it will be changing to the dots, and I'm going to save it, and that's it. Now this is a complete logging in .xml file layout.